I'll bring it back.
That's cool. We're headed out for another frack today. And we just finished drilling this hole. It makes 1 gallon every 3 minutes. It was 0.375 gallons per minute is what it made. So we're gonna go back today and we're gonna frack it and we're gonna see if we can get it to bust free. I just got a brand new gauge for this. That way y'all can see it a lot better than the old gauge. That old one was pretty sorry and sad. Finally made it out here to the job site. It's a little over an hour out here. It's quite a ways. But here's the well. Here's all the grit. You can see just how much grit that we dug out here. The well is 485 feet deep, 47 foot of casing. And we stamped 1, but we know it makes less than that. But good thing is the static water level, I don't know if you can see it down there. It's down there about 25 feet. So got a nice high static level. That'll help for storage. All right, got a back mic in. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. That's good. All right, and there's Pops. First thing we got to do is camera the hole. All right, so you see right here, that's the reflection on top of the water. And right here, 24.2 feet.
24?
Yep. Perfect. All right, so you see right here, that is where the casing, so this is the casing, and then that's the bedrock. So that's where it meets the bedrock. I don't have an SD card, so I can't record on that. We're gonna go down at least 20 feet past the base of the casing. Make sure we find a nice smooth borehole, which theoretically...
Be a spot down around 60 foot, Bill.
You think there's a spot around 60 foot that might be?
That's what it says in the notes.
Okay.
We don't want, we want to be below that.
Yes. We get to try out our new fill hose connection. That's cool. All right. Good. All right, down periscope.
Ready?
Yep.
Yeah, the rubber hose likes to grab onto your skin.
All right, we get to try the new inflator. So before we can inflate it, we have to run water through the system, open. That way we get out any trapped air bubbles. We don't want to be trying to compress air. Second gear. Get our new gauge. We've got our new water fill hose and our new grout, or not our new grout pump, but our new inflator pump. That's cool. Next upgrade will be a newer engine. I really want to take this is a Saginaw, but it's the same thing as like a Muncie 4-speed. I want to put like a specific gear ratio in here. I would like a lower first gear, but third gear is like what we max out at. So we should move third to fourth and have that be our top gear. Move second to third, move first up to second, and then basically have like a granny gear in first. So if you're new here, what's happening right now is that big packer that we put down in the well, we're inflating it, swelling up like a balloon. It's gonna swell up to 1,500 PSI. Very similar to a car tire, putting air pressure in a car tire to get it to swell and seal. This one just has steel belts in it, rubber, swells up against the sidewall of the well, separates the top portion of it from the bottom portion of it, and everything below the packer in the well is gonna see high pressure. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to force all that high pressure water down into the ground and open up the water veins. Flush them free of the sediment that's plugging them up naturally. What kind of pressure you got? Oh boy, 1900. Just let her chill right there. Damn. Now, this truck here holds 1,400 gallons, and the big black tank on top of our frack holds 550 gallons. So let's just say 500, 1400. What we do is we pump that tank, that black tank right there, down about 90% of the way. So we're gonna flow 400 to 450 gallons of water in the well. Then we're gonna let it rest. I'm gonna drop the pressure back to 0. We're gonna use the transfer pump in this truck to flow water from here to refill the black tank. Once the black tank is full again, we'll frack it again. We're gonna do that 3 or 4 times. That's what's gonna flush the well out. All right, we're gonna do first gear, see how much pressure we get. Really? That fast? That only took like 450 PSI. That's crazy. So make sure it ain't leaking. All right, second gear. That was really low pressure to make that bust open. I really love the gauge though. That's second gear. Yeah. Go ahead and switch to third. I ain't never had one frack this easy. Third gear. Yeah. I bet this one will take fourth gear. Having a problem sucking water fast enough. I was kind of curious to see if the pressure would go to 0. Yeah, we've already drained 250 gallons out of that tank. I'm gonna try fourth gear and see what happens. That's fourth gear. Yeah, the check valves in the pump don't like it at that speed. Amazing that it can take it though. Let the tank refill. Yeah, I've only got about 150 in it. I need to let it get fuller. All right, we let it sit, filled it back up. Time to run it again. It's been about 30 minutes. This is our third run through. This is our third tank we're flowing in it right now. We're down at about the 300 foot mark, or 300 gallon mark, I mean. Let's go over here and see how much is left in this truck. Down to about 1/8 of a tank, so almost all of this water has been flown. Let's see, that's probably 500 gallons left realistically. I've only got it cruising right now in third gear at probably, 60% throttle. It's got this gauge over here. This one, I very rarely ever come and look at this because I'm always up on the frack, but this one does read about 75 PSI more than the other side. The other side's showing me about 300. This one's showing me about 4.25. It's remarkably low for a frack, and remarkably low to be flowing that low of a pressure in third gear. I don't know. Overall, I think the best thing for me to do here is to try to pump test the well when we come back to put a pump in it, and then that way I can get an exact number of what gallon per minute that this hole makes. That way I can discern whether low pressure fracks versus high pressure fracks and what the end results are. I went next door and checked the neighbor's well to make sure we weren't flowing out of the top of it since the pressures were so low. Everything over there looked good. I'm gonna go ahead now, open up the bleed back valve. screaming like it normally does. Probably not gonna give me back much water. Well, we're all done with that. We released the packer and look at the flow rate we're getting back. That is insane flow. They don't never bleed back that fast. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's giving us 10 or 15 gallons a minute of feedback, which is not what the well makes, but what it's giving us back. That's wild. This thing presumably might make a shit ton of water.
I would assume it would make a lot of water with the way it opened up.
Yeah.
High pressure and open up quick.
Crazy.
You want that? Right, look at that.
It's been about, what, 20 minutes? Got a significant flow coming away from all the water we injected, so that's nice. Got a pretty little stream flowing. That's probably a solid 10 gallons a minute flowing away from it. It'll be cool to see what it actually makes in comparison. But that'll be
No relation.
that'll be us on another day.
No relation.
Pretty. Oh, got one more.
One more.
Yep.
Thank you.
I don't know if the well seal will even go on it, Mike. I think it might float it off.
You might float it off.
Yeah, you pick my water bottle up.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
Let's see.
Bill, you want some more chicken wings?
I'm all right for right now.
I'll bring you back.
That's cool. That's a hellacious amount of flow. So we're finished with the frack. Me personally, I would have liked to drop the packer down to about 170 foot and see if we could get a high pressure frack. Talked to Dad about it, and he didn't want to, so we didn't. Based on the flow back that we got coming out, I was happy, but I won't be satisfied until we pump test the well. So when we're gonna come back, it's gonna be probably 2 weeks. It'll be in the same video for you, but that'll give the well time to like neutralize and level itself out. It'll get back to the 24 foot static level, and then we're gonna stick a pump in it at 300 foot. I'm gonna bring a generator and we're gonna test it to see exactly how much water it makes. I'll try to drain it down to like 150 or 200 foot, and then I'll watch and calculate how fast it flows back. But that'll be next. I really want to do it just based on data. I want the data. I want to know the difference between the production rate of a high pressure frack versus a low pressure frack. You know, the last couple we did ended up making like 3 to 5 gallons a minute, and we saw over 2,000 psi. This one we only saw about 450 psi. So I want to know for my records and for a couple of y'all who actually frack, and I know a lot of the people in the comment section want to know the results of a frack. Well, I'm right there with you. I want to know the results of this. That way I'll know for the future comparison between low pressure fracks and high pressure fracks just how well they do. It's been about 3 weeks. Mike and I are back here now to do the pump test. So we're going to be installing this pump at 300 feet, which is all of that pipe. We're going to be using this 3/4 horsepower, 5 gallon a minute. It's a tri-seal. It's a 3200 series J class. I have that pump listed on my website as a deep set. That's typically our 400 foot pump, but because this well has the potential of not making much water, we're going to go ahead and put our bigger pump on. That way it can draw the water level all the way down to 300 feet, and it won't have a problem shutting the pressure switch off. So it's kind of a little rainy, a little hazy here on us. So we're going to go ahead, throw this pump together, and then get it put in the well. Nice and easy. Okay. It's been raining out here, so we just want to wipe it all down so the pipe ain't damp or bringing any grass or any other stuff in the well. It'll pull straight when we start the generator up. As the water level pulls down, it'll get heavy and straighten the pipe out. So you may be wondering, how am I going to figure out how much water the well is actually making? Well, we're going to use this. This is a sonic water level meter, Model 300. This is a newer version of my boom box that you may have seen in previous videos. The difference between this one and my old one is this allows you to not have to take the entire well seal off the well. We're going to utilize this tiny little vent hole here, which is 1/2 of an inch. You take this little snout off here, and it sends a little echo puff out of that end right there. This goes down in there like so. Okay, we're going to turn it on, and it tells you right there, I don't know if y'all could hear that little puff, but the water level is at 21.1 feet. That's the static water level. So we're going to drain the water level down to about 200 feet if we can, and then we're going to monitor how fast it comes up. Once we monitor how fast it comes up, we can determine how many gallons that is and how many minutes, and that'll give us gallons per minute. Yeah, it's a Honda, baby. Gotta let her warm up before I turn the breaker on. Wow, that's beautiful and clean. Awesome. Really good clarity in that water to be a fracked well. Amazing. We've been pumping right now for about 45 minutes. 45 minutes with a 5 gallon a minute pump is gonna flow around 6.5 gallons realistically out of that pump. We should have the water level drawn down to about 180 to 200 realistically. Because we pumped out over 300 gallons of water. So I'm gonna go over there now, we're gonna turn it off, and then we're gonna check to see how close we are. I'm estimating, like, if the well makes like 2 gallons a minute, we're probably down around 150, 160. You know, 200 feet would be max on probably a 1/2 gallon a minute well, realistically. So let's go cut the generator off, and let's see what the water level's at. Alright, so now that we've got it off, let's see if I can zoom in, y'all. Alright, let's turn it on. No shit, 60 feet. Okay, wow, look, it's already came up a fraction. This thing's making gobs of water. Alright, let's do it again. In 15 seconds. It's already came up a foot. So in 15 seconds, made a foot of water that's a gallon and a half, times, that would be like 6 gallons a minute. But let's do some math. I'm gonna give it 5 minutes of recovery time. It started at 60, and we'll wait and we'll see. All right, the other number was 57.8. It's exactly 2 minutes right now, and we're at 53.7. So 57.8 to 53.7. Let's do the math. All right, so it made 4 feet of water exactly in 2 minutes. So that's 6 gallons of water in 2 minutes. So that means it's making 3 gallons a minute. Now that's 3 gallons a minute at 60 or 70 foot water level. It probably makes more than that down deeper. As you draw the water level down, then the vein that's feeding it water right now isn't having to lift all the water weight. You see what I'm saying? So as you would draw the water level down, in turn it would make more. So realistically, it probably makes somewhere around 5 gallons a minute. We just ran this thing for nearly 45 minutes. We should have had a water level around the 150 to 170 foot mark if the well didn't make anything, you know, if it was just steady pulling it down. the fact that the water level was in the 60 to 70 foot range just kind of, I don't know, just totally shocked me, to be completely honest. I was not expecting that. Wow, that is phenomenal. I know the homeowner is going to be super excited about that. He's going to be ecstatic. Now he doesn't have to worry about running out of water, and he can do everything he wants. Wow, awesome. Awesome. Let's see what it's at now. It's been about 4 minutes since we shut it off. Now it's at 50. That's so crazy, dude. Makes a boatload. I'm going to stamp it at 4 gallons a minute. I think that'd be a good happy medium, because I think it probably makes more than 3, but it doesn't really matter at this point. It makes enough to where he's never going to run it out, because we just ran it open-ended with that pump, and yeah, this thing could have had a 150-foot pump in it, and I think it would have been fine, but we don't know that. That's why we do these tests. Like, I'm not even charging him for a pump test. I literally come here to do this today just for y'all as a viewer, and for me, for my personal records, to know the difference, a low pressure frack versus a high pressure frack. I really want to know, like, for future reference, if you know, if we don't get high pressures, are we gonna, you know, see good numbers? Well, this right here proved to me that we're gonna get good numbers. As long as we get a good return out of the top of the well after we frack and it's flowing away nice and fast, then I have pretty good feeling that we're gonna have a good flow rate. So this will let me know in future tests whether or not I even need to test the well. But yeah, awesome. Okay, Mike, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and wrap it all up before we get hit by this storm.